2025. Welcome, and let's get started. Thank you to all of those HR leaders and HR professionals who've joined us today to get ready to start the week out right. I'll be going over key HR news, trends, and compliance. Yes, this is our 13th weekly update, and we will continue on doing this the entire year to ensure you are in compliance, you're staying up to date with the latest employee engagement, executive orders, compliance dates, and whatnot. So today what we'll be going over is, number one, we're going to look at last week. We're also going to look at upcoming compliance key dates to include state law updates and executive order updates and news. We also are going to have an employee engagement module as always, and we're going to look at a very important and key featured template today. So what did we talk about last week? Last week, we reviewed the first week of March and all the items that were in compliance and that needed to be achieved. We looked at the new administration and how HR played into it. We looked at the executive orders, and we also reviewed my hreducation.com site, which has a spreadsheet that covers all the topics that have been discussed within the new administration. As far as employee engagement goes, last week we looked at best practices and recent insights that us as HR leaders can implement within our organizations during this time of uncertainty or broader economic concerns and changing regulations. So we looked at a lot of those different items like strengthening financial support to employees, supporting mental health, and whatnot. We reviewed upcoming developments across the state, and our feature template was a little different. Typically, it's just a regular like HR template or whatnot, but this has more or less of a poem that I came up with that has served as a great gift, and it can be found on my Etsy store to give other HR professionals. And I created this on my own, so it's by me. All right, down to work. Upcoming key dates for March. Since the 15th fell on a Saturday, the S-Corp Form 1120S and Partnership Form tax returns are due today, but I'm sure you've probably already done this already if your organization is an S-Corp or a partnership. As far as the end of quarter one, this is the HR calendar of key dates. We have the 1094C, 1095C, 1099, 8809 e-filing deadline, Form 1099 miscellaneous due if reporting sales in Box 7, EEO1 reporting and filing data, and 1099 miscellaneous paper forms due. And then we have some more forms due, e-filing deadlines on the 1st. Then there's tax day, and on the 23rd, we're looking at administrative professionals day. So don't forget to go ahead and start planning something for administrative professionals next month. Some of the upcoming state developments, and I'm just going to read the first couple, and you can take a look. Today, Alabama lowers information return electronic filing threshold. Ohio extends military leave protections to U.S. Space Force. Michigan requires Veterans Benefits and Services poster. Ohio pay statement requirements take effect. Missouri paid sick leave employer notice and posting requirements. Bellingham, Washington, minimum wage increases to $18.66. And you can take a look really quick, or you can take a screenshot, but it covers states as New York. I think there's about 3 different mentions of New York, Pennsylvania, Alaska paid sick leave, just to keep you up to date. So those are some of the upcoming state developments. So moving right along, we're going to take a look at the executive orders. Now, I'm going to zoom out for a minute. And last week, we went to my hreducationedge.com. We go to HR Weekly Resources. We scroll down, and if you go right here, 2025 Employment Law and Compliance Overview for Employers. And you'll pull that up, and you'll see the topics, pay transparency, wage and hour. It has the executive orders, it has the statuses, and it has the employee considerations. Let me pull this. Hold on. I think this is the newer one. Sorry about that, everyone. The topics, status, employers affected, executive orders, employer considerations, what I talked about in last week's video, and then what I'm going to go over today. So it's pretty straightforward and laid out. It's a lot of the things that the new administration has talked about or talked about in the campaign, and it's something that something that applies or is woven into the HR function. So be sure to check those out to see all of them. But let's head back, and we're going to go ahead and open this up, and I'm going to scroll right back to this page. And we're going to take a look at 3 of the executive orders and some news that's come out about them. A lot of it's getting tied up in the courts, but as far as diversity, equity, inclusion, some provisions of the executive orders have been temporarily blocked by a federal judge, but lawsuits are ongoing, making the legal landscape uncertain. However, on March the 14th, that was on Friday, so I'm waiting to hear some kind of news about this. An appeals court on Friday lifted a block on executive orders seeking to end government support for diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, handing the Trump administration a win after a string of setbacks. And this is per the Associated Press. So if you want to take a look at that article, you can. It's also important to note that more than 50 universities right now are being investigated for alleged racial discrimination as part of President Trump's campaign to end diversity, equity, inclusion. You've probably heard on the news that some funding is being held back from a particular university for different issues. So that's where this is coming from. Also, it's important to note that the federal officials have 120 days to submit recommendations to combat illegal DEI. They have yet to define what illegal DEI is. And I went and I've looked on all of the administration's pages. As far as artificial intelligence is concerned, I also went on to the site to see if I could find any updates to the AI memoranda within 60 days. I know it's been about 54 days right now. So I'm still looking for that to see if anything is coming out on that. And over to the right, so this is basically news right here that you need to know about. And this is just some things right here that you need to, and I'll have to go back to that because it took me right out. Here we go. That you need to be doing as far as AI is concerned. Monitor, stay up to date on all AI regulation. Well, I'm trying to help you do that. Compliance, vigilance. Right now, if you're not doing any AI, you probably will be in the future. I'll keep you posted. I know some states, I know New York City has put into effect some particular laws. The Equal Opportunity Commission, harassment guidelines rescinded. Ensure internal harassment policies remain robust, and you make sure you comply strictly with Title VII and state and local laws, despite the EEOC's rollback. And if you haven't already heard, there's an anti-American bias enforcement. I'm sure you've probably seen that come out. So just ensure you review your job postings and hiring practices to avoid unintentionally screening out qualified U.S. applicants. Make sure you hold onto your records. Diversity, equity, inclusion. As we know, the federal DEI programs have been terminated. Prepare for scrutiny. You already know this. We go over this every single week. Immigration, stricter workplace and enforcement, visa processing delays and restriction, and be sure your documentation is prepared. We go over this every week, so you probably already know this. Okay, as far as employee engagement and our employee engagement module, we're going to take a look at the employee engagement calendar, and I just kind of moved the employee engagement calendar, which is on my Etsy site, and moved March and April up. The theme was Employee Appreciation Month for March, and we celebrated Employee Appreciation Day on the 7th. This upcoming on the 20th is Thank You Thursday, where you can go ahead and plan on doing something special for your coworkers, a special thank you note. Let them know how they have exhibited maybe perhaps your organizational core values. So this is something that involves employee engagement. And as I think about employee engagement in the month of March, I think about, the warmer weather and, we're going to be doing more things outside. So this is a great time to take a look at your dress code policy review. People, it's going to be warmer. It's going to be, a little warmer outside. So everybody make sure that the dress code is up to date for, your summer clothing requirements, to make sure everybody is aligned with what they need to be wearing within the organization. Also, while it's March, managers, you may want to go ahead and put the idea in the heads of your employees to go ahead and start, planning their vacations for the summer, or turn in their vacation dates, so as, things not to get too confusing when we have to schedule so many people off. Also, I've been reading a lot up on the employee experience and the importance of it. And because right now, a lot of employees are leaving their job on their own accord. And many exit interviews have been done only to show that they are leaving due to their particular employee experience, whether it could be the onboarding process, the pre-boarding process, the onboarding process, or just basically their experience with their managers or their coworkers. So now's the time to get ahead of that and focus in on employee engagement and enhance the employee experience through perhaps what a lot of organizations are doing is they're rolling out employee stay interviews, and they're allowing this template to assist managers. It's an employee stay interview, and it allows the employee to talk a little bit about what keeps them working there, what would make their role more fulfilling. It opens up a conversation between the manager and the employee. So if you haven't heard of employee stay interviews, it's very important. And now that we're looking at, we're into March. When I think of March, I'm like, okay, it's the end of the third quarter. So I hope everyone is tracking their employee turnover. And when you look at the employee turnover and you're looking at employee turnover within the departments, ask those managers where, if the numbers are very high, perhaps maybe these managers can start doing some things such as employee stay interviews and to assist in lessening the turnover. So this is also in my Etsy store, and it's also got a chart that's very interactive with it. In order to build a rewarding employee experience, you need to understand what matters most to your people. And the employee stay interview template indeed does that. So I would look into that, and a lot of organizations are using it now. Okay, and I try to keep this under 20 minutes, and I think I've done that. But our featured template, and I talk about this every week, to make sure that you have an immigration plan if ICE were to show up at your your workplace. And so I went ahead last week and created an immigration worksite visit response checklist. And this is what you would be using if ICE were to be coming to your organization, and they, actually show up at the door. Managing the initial visit, controlling the situation, managing employee interactions, and guiding the site visit, and also the post-visit response. And there's another second sheet to that, and this can be found in my store. You know how I talk about how important it is to be prepared. And this immigration worksite visit response checklist is very important. So I think we're definitely under 20 minutes today. I just wanted to keep it really, really quick. I wanted to respect everyone's time. It is Monday. Make sure that you subscribe, turn on the bell notifications so you'll know every Monday when a new video comes out, along with any of my new HR templates that I put up. So hope everyone has a wonderful week. Hope everyone stays focused. You're wonderful HR leaders, and just go out there and give it your best. Stay focused, put your people first, and just do what you do each and every day for your organization. Thank you so much.